Cody.
Can we do?
Cody, you don't want to be in this?
No, I can't hold my cards up. Or I guess I can hold them.
Just hold them. Now you can't see the
Now you can't
book.
see Barack Obama.
Cody, just hold the cards.
I was gonna make a joke. It's funny you said that. Whenever we're done with all of these, you have none.
Can you hold your cards so I can end this video?
Cody, can you see the price tag off your card?
It's like Kmart over here. That's what Kmart.
No wonder why Kmart went out of business.
Yeah, that's why they don't sell cards anymore.
I thought this was gonna be a simple ask.
No!
It's
Mine was
backwards.
backwards.
What are you doing here, bro?
Is that all right?
You had it backwards and then you flipped it when we.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Wave, I've been on a wave. Please don't come around me trying to kill my vibe. Y'all been jumping ships while I'm out here catching tides. Thought I told y'all. Security at the door and they bout to hold y'all.
Hello, everybody. Tracy, Hackler, Roadshow crew. New York Roadshow, Kevin Kulikowski. Texas Roadshow, Cody Karam. Roadshow cards, myself. And it's been a day.
It's been a day.
We've had ourselves a day. Here in Allen, Texas at the Dallas Card Show. Figure it out, Allen, Dallas. They're like right next to each other. A show, yeah, they're not next to each other.
I don't
like,
even go here.
He doesn't go here. Kevin flew in today for the show, and he's flying out in the morning. But the show that has gained prestige, notoriety over the last 14, 16 months, for obvious reasons, it's grown. Great show, lots of traffic, lots of deals to be made. So we came to talk about the show, your thoughts on the show. Since he's visiting from New York, Cody, I'm going to let Kevin go first.
Perfect.
No other reason. So sum up your show experience here.
So, like Tracy said, I flew in this morning, but this show is worth it. Honestly, like, on a day trip, flying from wherever, this show is worth it. It is, as Tracy alluded to, like, one of the go-to shows in the industry now. I think, what do they have, 600 vendors in here?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Yeah.
Like, the show is crowded, the cards are there, and honestly, anything you're looking for, you can find here. The variety is unmatched. And for the most part, I was very happy with the prices that I saw today on stuff that I was either looking to buy or stuff that just, I know what it comps at and sort of took it from there.
Yep.
I did make a big pickup today.
I saw that.
Today was a selling day for me.
Yes.
But had to go home with something. And so this is going to be a 1996 WCW Chris Benoit autograph. It is an SGC 9.5 with a 10 auto.
It's a nice auto.
It is a nice, clean auto, considering trying to cross it over to PSA, but I don't know.
One of the greatest wrestling technicians of all time.
Martin controversy.
Tragic ending, obviously. But
I feel like that's what makes one of these pieces even more unique. And you don't see these often. And the last Raw one, I think, did 800-ish.
Okay.
And so I was happy. I wound up getting this for $1,000, which I felt like was a good deal. So I'm super excited about it. It is going into my wrestling PC. And, I would say overall, I had a blast at the show. Got to hang out with you guys.
we had a blast. And you, if I were to grade you, you would be a 9.5/10 for me, too.
We got wiggle room there. I was going
I can't give you 10/10. I'm going to give you 9.5/10.
Yeah, that's reserved for me.
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe if I lived in Texas, it would be different. But
Cody is what we call a dime piece.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but it's a 10.
The kids these days are calling them that.
Dime pieces, yeah. So, Cody, you have a handful of some UFC royalty, I think.
Yes.
But first of all, hold on.
Okay.
Before you introduce these,
Don't want to jump the gun.
I want you to give your thoughts of the show in general.
So I was talking to Kyle, who's the promoter of the show, and I actually think that this show is busier than the previous show, which was in October, last October. So like Kev said, what I really like to see about this, especially starting 2022, is that really, obviously there's always going to be people that are overpriced on stuff, but for the majority, not that stuff was underpriced, but stuff was very fairly priced, I thought. I didn't have a lot of experiences this show where it was like $1,000 card and somebody was asking like $20,000 for it or something. Like, it was very fairly priced, wide variety. Although we did note something, Kev, there were not a lot of F1 at this show.
Right.
Like there were some singles. I didn't see any wax at all. So that is interesting because F1 is what really took the hobby by storm in 2021.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think like 2020 is going to be the year of the pandemic when cards skyrocketed. 2021 was the year of F1.
Right.
What is 2022 going to be? I am under the impression
I was going to say, I
that
think
it's
your
going to be the
pickups
year of
might
UFC.
Might be a little hint at that.
I've learned from Tracy, the king of transitions, and want to transition into some UFC pickups I got.
Yes, beautiful.
One a Topps product, Topps UFC Gold refractor, Amanda Nunez auto, PSA
card,
10 on card,
Wow. That's beautiful.
26 out of 50. And then another on card auto, 6 of 49. So, I mean,
Look how consistent her autograph is from 3
it
years
really
apart.
is.
I mean, that's
Right.
really cool.
that's kind of crazy. You don't
Yeah.
really see that a lot
Yeah.
in athletes. A lot of times they change their auto.
And she is, well, like, I know that she just lost, and her veil of invincibility may seem to have been taken away, but she's going to be she will always be the greatest female fighter
Right.
of all time.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And UFC, obviously some of the followers know that have been watching some of our videos, but UFC is the second most watched sport in America behind football,
Yeah.
which is crazy considering you have to pay for it to
Yeah,
watch it.
right.
So the exponential growth I see over UFC over the next 2-3 years is astounding. So hopefully, like I said, 2022 year of UFC. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that.
I mean, if Panini keeps putting out products like Immaculate, I think that the products will start to speak for themselves. And even folks who might not be sold on UFC
Right.
can appreciate how awesome a product that is.
Yeah.
And if Panini keeps that consistency, I think that'll just help skyrocket their growth, like you said.
Totally agree. As a wise man once said, the ceiling is the roof. So,
Yes, the ceiling
We've
is
heard that.
roof.
We've heard that before.
And speaking of UFC, if you haven't had a chance to watch us break UFC Immaculate with flyweight contender Matt Schnell, go watch the video. What are you waiting on?
You should have already watched it.
That's a good point, Kevin.
Right.
So before we get into two other things, this reveal,
Big.
which is going to be good,
Big.
I hope. It could be really bad.
We might get duped.
We might get duped. So when you guys come to this show in the future now, because the next time you're here, both of y'all's shops will be open or
Yeah.
really close to being open.
Yeah.
How will you look at this show as a way to supplement or help your stores?
I think Cody will agree on this, but like the fact that the singles market is so competitively priced here, and you see a lot of times you go to shows and we call them museums instead of shows where cards are just
Yeah.
way off, you know. The fact that you can walk in the door here and there's 600 different options for you, I think that's what I'm going to mainly look at is making sure that I am picking up in-demand singles, and even if it takes a flight to Dallas to get them at a good price, it's the price you pay to
Yeah.
have your inventory. So I'm
right.
excited for that.
So I think it's a little different for me. In talking to you, talking to Kyle, I think this is definitely a show we want to set up at.
Yeah.
Eventually, don't know if it's going to be the next one with the shop opening so soon, but not too far down the road. Definitely want to set up at this show, and it's going to be an opportunity to not only buy but also to sell.
Sure.
And being on that side of it. So we talked to Ryan. Ryan's in a little bit of a different situation with his shop being in Columbus. He uses this show solely to buy. That's all he uses
Yeah.
the show for. And if you haven't watched that video, pulling in another video, be sure to go watch our video with Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
Card Collector 2. But
That one's not as high as a priority because I wasn't in that.
that's a
but,
valid point.
I mean,
That's a valid point.
That's a good
okay.
point.
I was eating lunch maybe or something.
You're flying in.
Right.
Boy, are his arms tired.
Was
Put on
Rob.
bump.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to. Thankfully, we're in a very good situation here where we have the ability to set up at the show and sell, and also have Kevin, the Channels brothers, Trey, whoever come in and be able to buy also. So, but that being said, you bought something today.
I did.
Speaking of being the king of transitions,
Well, hold on, because there's first of all, hold on, time out. You mentioned something that I think is really appealing, in
Yes.
that you said, because not long ago, shows for buying it was like a museum.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to sell. They were
Right.
just all, But you said that the buying was competitive.
Yeah.
Which is really a great sign for the entire industry.
Of
I think.
course, yeah.
I don't know why I felt like I needed to stop down and
We're
say
just
that.
doubling down that if you
Well,
want to buy, Dallas is the place to do it.
I think to add on to that point, I think when you go to other shows that aren't 600 tables, this is why this show is so great. And the National, for example, is like if you go to a smaller show, they may not have to price as competitively.
True.
Because there's
Yeah.
not a lot of competition.
That's a
in the
great
room.
point.
Yeah.
Whereas here, with all the competition, if you don't price it competitively with the market, you're just not going to sell any cards when you set up. So.
It's a lot more like the National in that
Yep,
sense.
yep.
And then speaking of National, something that's going national is going to be the Roadshow Cards podcast. It's coming,
That's a beautiful transition.
and it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be New York, and it's going to be Texas, and it's going to be Cali, it's going to be Kentucky, it's going to be Roadshow Breaks, all in one episode thing. So watch it when it comes out.
Or listen.
We can
Are we
listen.
gonna have video podcasts?
Are
as
we?
well?
Did you not get a kit? Did you not get a ring light and all that?
I did.
I mean, that's not for radio.
Listen, people tell me I have a face for radio, so I don't know.
But with the ring light, you also have a face for video.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so I bought something because I fancy these guys as renegades. I bought the book Renegades. Barack Obama, Bruce Springsteen, supposed to be autographed on the inside. We're going to reveal what's inside.
Who authenticated that this is autographed?
David Shoup. So we're going to check it out. Okay.
An expert in autograph authentication.
It says that on the book jacket. It says that it's.
It says it's authenticated by
Now,
David Shoup.
It does not say that.
do we know what is the relationship with Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen? Like, how did,
They're both renegades, of course. But I think there's also a podcast that goes, speaking of podcasts, that they did together. It's about music. It's about life. It's about the myths here, dreams, about reaching.
that sounds like just a bunch of buzzwords.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. No, it's about achieving things that we could only dream of achieving.
Fair, and those guys did it.
They both, and I liked it because of the history-making nature of Barack Obama's presidency and the fact that Bruce Springsteen was personal history of the first concert I ever went to.
That's a nice little fact there.
Yeah.
That's going to be on the back of a Tracy Hackler trading card one day.
So I'm a little nervous. I'm
tidbit
not
of
gonna lie
info.
to you.
All right, the
So
grand
before you open
reveal.
this,
Yeah.
They
I
look
think it's
so
important
happy.
They do.
to tell to our audience, I don't think that this is guaranteed to be autographed, right?
Well, it says here.
Does it?
This deluxe edition of Renegades includes a cloth-bound book signed by both authors in a slipcase.
There you go. Well, it is
Imagine if they weren't
guaranteed.
the authors and they were just like,
I know if it was like,
right. If it was like
I
Puffin
don't know where
Publishing or whatever.
Okay, it's not that page.
All right, so we're not autographed on this page.
Hold on. Let me just. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there we go. It
And
is.
one of them
autographed,
is
guys.
big. One of them is like big, not like they're both big, but one of them is real big. So let's go.
Here we go. The grand reveal. How do you slow roll this?
Oh, they're both.
Those are both
Those,
beautiful signatures. Wow.
those are great.
That's awesome.
That's pretty spectacular.
I think we were successful in that because
Renegades.
I think
was
we
worried.
knew. I think we knew it was going to be autographed.
Yes.
Yep.
Fairly confident in that. But I think the worries were that how big the autos were going to be.
We've heard
Yep.
Bruce Springsteen was inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, very inconsistent.
But then also B, if they get too close to each other,
Right.
Then
Can't cut
what?
'em.
then it's tough to cut them.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So I think this is better than what we even hoped for.
So thank you, gentlemen. That's a great recap of Dallas. Great pickups, solid pickup, great pickup.
Texas Roadshow is going to have a full recap of their experience
Yes.
at Dallas. Be sure to check that out.
Oh, this guy has been content heavy.
He's a
all
recap machine.
all 3 days. He's been capturing content. His brother Chase,
He slept in the lobby.
We've done 3 days worth of work in 2 days.
it's been pretty amazing.
It's pretty impressive.
Why are you wearing the same outfit in 7 videos? Corey?
Well, he's got one sweater that he likes a lot.
Yeah.
So he's got 3
Fair.
sweaters.
I'll wash it. Don't worry.
He's got 3 sweaters.
There you
They're all
go.
the same.
Yeah.
He's like Linus from Charlie Brown.
Yeah, there you go.
Wasn't that the dirty one?
Thank you for
Please
watching.
don't come
We love
around me
you.
trying to kill my vibe. Y'all been jumping ships while I'm out here catching tides. Thought I told y'all. Security at the door and they bout to hold y'all. Carry y'all lethal weapons, I'm about to fold y'all.